DJ LeMachine, who's back to New York, 6 years, $90 million. The return of LeMachine. Murph, what do you think of that, man?
Dude, I love it. I mean, and it was for a bargain price. This is not the price I was expecting. I was expecting like 20 mil a year minimum. 15 mil? That's ridiculous. Like, I don't think you can be too mad at it. And if you are, I don't know what you're watching or what you're thinking, right? This guy's been the best player on our team for the last 2 years, 2 seasons. By far MVP, by far our best player. And now we got him locked up long term, 6 years. And I truly believe that in those 6 years, he could be productive the whole 6 years. I think the way he hits and the way he approaches everything on the field, I truly believe he could be effective for all 6 years and be maybe not a 300 hitter by his like 5th and 6th year, but he could still get you probably 270 plus. Yeah. He's just such a pure hitter. So yeah, I'm ecstatic. I think we got him at a really good price, and I think this is going to help him because now he realized, hey, they really do care about me. They got me those 6 years. Like, I think that was the biggest issue.
Yeah.
I think we were sitting at like 4 years. We're like,
and he wanted 5, right? But instead the Yankees gave him 6 and less money. But and he's got to be getting some incentive bonus too, like per year, like a lot of an incentive because they don't leak that money amount to the public.
Yeah, I have no idea. I would think so, but either way, like this is such a huge deal. For the most part, I know it's 15 mil per year straight up. Like you said, there could be incentives that we just don't know about. Whatever, who cares? I'm just glad he's back in pinstripes, baby. That's huge. That's huge.
LeMachine. A lot of people are giving the Yankees crap, for saying for not giving what an MVP candidate is worth, and like even giving DJ crap for not taking like a bigger contract somewhere else. Well, when you want to play in the environment like the Yankees have, a winning culture, you're gonna either. He could have also taken a pay cut and said like, "Hey guys, like go get someone else," which I really do believe he possibly did because I even believe that he knows we can't just run it back.
Yeah.
He needed to add someone else, but I mean, and like, apparently he was offered by the Mets to a higher deal, and he turned it down and came to the Yankees, which again shows his commitment to New York, and the fans should freaking love him for that,
Yeah, he's like I like to always say this. He's the perfect Yankee, dude. Like I don't know what else. He's like if you could mold a player, you would mold DJ LeMachine. Like obviously, I think the only difference is you probably hope for a little bit more pop, but who cares, dude? He's the best pure hitter in the game. Like he just hits for average, he hits for contact. He can spray it all over the field. You go oppo with it, which is huge in Yankee Stadium, right? So yeah, DJ's just the perfect Yankee. Right, and 6 years captaincy, right? Could look to give it to him. I wouldn't be mad at it at all. I'd support that 100%.
On and off the field too, bro. Like he's not like a big social media guy. Keeps his mouth shut, goes about his business, and works his ass off, which I love.
Yeah.
You were saying before I interrupted you.
No, you're good. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I was like gonna bring up the point, like you said, he probably did ask for a pay cut because he realizes like at the end of the day, like. If he wants to be a part of this team, it's his team too. He's got to realize, like, hey, this roster at its core has an expiration date, right? All rosters do, right? Eventually, we're not going to be able to keep a Judge, a Torres, a Severino, all these guys on the same roster. They're all going to want way too much money. So he realized, hey, let's take a pay cut now, and let's win now, right? Let's go out and get some pieces around this team because, like you said, we can't run it back. Let's go win. I think in terms of lineup, I think this lineup is as good as it's ever going to get, right? You're looking at DJ leading off, playing second. Judge and right, Hicks in center, Stan DH, Voit first, Torres short. Let's see. Probably Gio third. I was thinking he'd bat last because I think he could really spread out the lineup. I'd say Clinton left. Gary. Yeah, Clinton left, Gary, and then Gio.
Yeah, which is that's a great lineup. It's just, again,
it's a deep lineup.
You don't like seeing no lefties.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue, right? We want lefties. The problem is, the lefties we currently have didn't really show up for us last year, right? Right now we got Tauchman. Tauchman's a lefty, right? I'm not crazy. Tauchman's a lefty. Wade and Ford.
But after the year that Frazier had, you can't be trying to play Tauchman over.
No.
And you can't be trying to play Gardner over him. They didn't even re-sign Gardner yet.
Not yet, and I think that's probably the last move, if I'm being honest. Like. This next guy, Corey Kluber, we made this signing. 11 years, 11 million 1 year.
Mhm.
I thought that was a little high, but apparently it wasn't. Apparently it was lowish, which is crazy to
He
me.
asked for more, like, and we got him for cheaper.
Like that's crazy. Like I think our first offer from what I've read, we offered like 9 mil 1 year.
Mhm.
And then other teams were coming in with like multi-year deals like 10 mil. And then we were like, we'll give you 11. And he said, deal. He said, deal. Bet. I think what ultimately what gave us the edge is, he's working out with our head of training, right? If I'm not mistaken, he's working out with the head New York Yankee trainer.
Cressy?
And
Cressy.
yeah. And we've also got his ex-pitching coach, Matt Blake.
Yep. Who also works at that facility.
Yep. So Matt Blake knows him probably as good, if not better, than anyone else out there.
Probably better than he knows himself, to be quite honest.
Yeah. So that's probably ultimately what won us the bidding war, if you will. That whole thing, and probably like what that tells me two things after it. One, right, all these teams offering multi-year deals. Clearly, he's hungry and he wants to prove himself that he can be Corey Kluber of old. He could be Cy Young Kluber
under the Yankee spotlight too, which is better than Cleveland's spotlight.
That's huge. Yeah. He wants to be a star. He's hungry. He wants it. He's betting on himself this year. That's massive. You can't understate that enough, right? Because if he was just willing to accept any old deal out there, like the first deal that came his way, that tells me he's just in it for the paycheck.
Yeah.
Clearly, that's not it. Clearly, he's hungry. He wants to prove it. Because these teams were offering multi-year deals. We just said, hey, 1 year.
I want my 1 year. I'm going to show out this year. And when you bet on yourself and you're a guy like Corey Kluber, there's no reason why he's not going to have at least, I'm putting it out there, 12 win season.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd say maybe a 3, like a little bit over a 3.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go highest 3.8. Nothing over a 4. Nothing a 4. He's not good.
No. I think at worst a 3.8. I think at worst a 3.8 for Corey Kluber. And secondly, that tells me he wants to win as well. He wants to prove himself and he wants to win. And he's willing to do it with the Yankees because he probably sees, hey, like I could go to like the Orioles, right? I could go to the Angels. Yeah. I get a multi-year deal.
And I don't have to play for anything. I just need to show out. I just need to play for myself,
Yeah.
He wants
to win. What are the odds I can go get a ring with these guys? He's the Yankees, and the Yankees got a lot of potential, right? They got a lot of potential. I think that's our biggest problem is the amount of question marks we have in our starting rotation. If your name's not Garrett Cole, I don't know what to expect out of you, realistically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, that doesn't stop with Kluber necessarily, right? Because he hasn't pitched in 2 years, and he's been through major injuries.
He threw 18 pitches in 2020 before injuring his shoulder.
Yeah.
So, like, that does make me a little iffy, but he's with his trainer. He's with his pitching coach that he's had pretty much for all of his major league career. And then he's also, he's the environment that he's going to be around, like, providing for, like, Clark Schmidt, for Davey, for Michael King. You got Kluber and Garrett Cole and Severino to mentor these young guys that are coming into the big leagues, which is really good, I feel, for our young guns, because they really didn't have. I mean, Cole can only do so much. One guy can only do so much. Now you have Kluber, who is a 2-time Cy Young, right? He's been in the mix more than 2 times. So he's. I mean, I'm very happy.
He's a career like 3.16 ERA type of guy, right?
Yeah.
He was at one point regarded as the best starting pitcher in the game, and I have to believe he can get pretty close to that. I wouldn't be surprised if he had that Verlander type of resurgence. And he could come out and dominate like he did before. I don't see why he can't. He's going to be 35 years old, something like that. So, dude, I think the sky's the limit. He has really good potential. He has the potential to be like a $30 million pitcher, right? That type of pitcher.
3-year 30 or like, something like that.
Something ridiculous.
For him, at this point, after these 2 big injuries that he had, he just got very unlucky with that off the forearm. That was unlucky.
That was horrible. That's just stuff of nightmares, right? They'll end the season real quick. Look at Judgy. Same thing happened to him, right? He took a fastball at the forearm and
freaking Jake Junis on the Royals. I don't even know if he's in the major leagues anymore. You bum, trash can.
Jesus, bro.
Jake Junis is on the same level as Matt Boyd, in my opinion. Garbage, dumpster fire.
Dumpster. Yeah, it's awesome.
The Tigers.
It's awesome we got a guy like Kluber, though. Like, this is a guy I wanted the whole offseason. Like, this is the guy I think the Yankees should have kept their eyes on. And like I said, I thought we overpaid, but apparently we weren't the highest bidders by far.
Yeah.
So that's awesome that we got him.
Upwards of 20, apparently.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. And he took less, so God bless him. You know, he wants.
That's awesome stuff, bro. I can't stress that enough. But you know, at the end of the day, we're still strapped for cash. Apparently, You know, they want to stay under the luxury tax, and I think the last number I saw, we were between like 3 and 6 left underneath the tax.
That could get us someone. I don't know.
That could get us a reliever, which is probably what they're looking at, and probably what we need. We need a reliever, or we need another starting pitcher. Either or, I'd be good with. Wouldn't mind a lefty bat, but I'd put that in the back burner behind getting another pitcher. Because right now, I think our starting rotation is still too concerning to me. I don't think there's, again, other than Garrett Cole, there's no for sure thing, right? Because then the Kluber is not a for sure thing, right? He could be bad. He could get shelled, right? You just don't know. I like to believe he's going to do something special. From everything I've read, everyone thinks he's back, right? Apparently the scouts were falling in love with him and what he was doing at his little debut or whatever, his little showcase.
He threw like 10 pitches and he was 90, 91. And if he comes back by, you know, mid-February, whenever the first week of spring training, he's throwing 93, perfectly fine with that. He still has his nasty sinker. He's got his slurve. He don't lose that. It's just now he's just got to stay healthy, which I believe he can with his trainer and his coach, which is going to be really cool to see because if they have success in New York, I could see the Yankees re-signing him to like a 2-year, adding 2 years to his contract or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. You know, after him, we don't have a lot though. Like you got to look. Like Severino's coming back probably around an All-Star break, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And we don't know what condition he's going to come back in.
Please. Do not rush him.
We've already lost him for 2 seasons. We don't need to lose him for a third. But yeah, we have no idea how he's going to come back at all. Then we got Montgomery. We have more of an idea about him. He took a pretty positive step last year, I think.
Especially in the playoffs.
Yeah, he pitched really well in the playoffs. I was really happy with what I saw. But again, we need him to be a different animal next year. Like, especially since you got to look, he's going to be our third guy. He's going to be the third guy in the rotation.
Gone.
Paxton, as of right now, is gone. And unless he's taking a huge pay cut, I don't see him coming back. Or unless the Yankees are going over the tax, which I also don't see. But you never know. Maybe the 162 game season that Manfred said we were going to have, maybe that woke him up a bit and said, hey, maybe we can spend money. No idea, though.
But, and apparently they said that they're planning on having fans.
That's what I've heard too.
Some areas, and you don't need to have like your COVID card that you got your vaccine. Don't know how. I don't know how it's going to work, especially in New York, because the COVID rates are always up in New York because it's New York, big city. But yeah, I mean, then I hear today that I get a notification from this stupid reporter saying that they were close to getting Luis Castillo. I still don't know where they're at with this.
So everything I've read. So it started off, I heard like a faint rumor that the Yankees were in talks for Luis Castillo. And then another report comes out that the deal is basically done, right? The Yankees are just waiting to add one last player, and then the deal's done. It's going to be a done deal by the end of the day. Then another report comes out, and they're like, just kidding. Don't ever listen to what that guy says. He's an idiot.
Yeah.
Basically. So then it's like, as Yankee fans, we're all going like, oh. Because if we got Luis Castillo, bro, it's a done deal.
It's a done deal.
It's
in
a
New
done
York.
deal.
In New York.
It's a done deal. Like, we're getting 28 if we get Luis Castillo. I'm sorry, but we are. A rotation then with Cole, Kluber, Castillo, Severino, Montgomery, Garcia, Schmidt, whoever. That's a good rotation. That's a rotation that can hang.
Yeah,
especially with our lineup.
The best of them. And that's a rotation that can outpitch other teams those are big game starters.
Like Luis Castillo is filthy, and he's young. He's 28 years old. He's still got plenty of years control, and that's why the follow-up report that I just saw recently was that they were asking for Gleyber Torres, and that's when the Yankees said, "All right, goodbye." They just hung up the phone. Like we're not trading Gleyber Torres. No. And any article you see that says Yankees trading Gleyber Torres, laugh in their face. Don't read that article. It's a waste of time, right? The Yankees are not trading their young phenom, right? If they were really set on trading him, they would have gone out and gotten Lindor, right? They didn't do that. So clearly the Torres is not going anywhere for a rotation piece. Clearly, we don't care about her rotation enough to do that.
Yeah.
So get that out of your
give
mind.
away Kluber Torres, the 24-year-old phenom. You know.
Yeah.
Not like that's just a stupid. Like he's like, oh yeah, you guys can have Castillo with other prospects, you know, and Kluber Torres. Like, and then Cashman just hung up the phone.
Yeah, it didn't even. He said, and he hung up the phone. He said, "You were about to say Kluber."
Funny joke.
That's not happening, right? So, you know, everything I've heard now is that they're like, we intend to have him part of the rotation. You know, all the usual GM BS. You know, trying to make it seem like they're not trading the guy.
Yeah,
they're gonna trade him.
Because the Reds don't need him. They have nothing to play for.
Yeah, they're gonna lose Trevor Bauer, right? Who carried them kicking and screaming last season. Dude is pitching every fourth game, and they still couldn't. He gave them 11 innings? How many innings was it in the playoffs that he pitched? And they still lost. And they couldn't get one run. Like
one hit, 1 or 2 hits, no runs, no walks.
If I ever saw a Yankee game where Garrett Cole was pitching like 11, 12 dominant shutout innings and we couldn't give him one run, I would literally stop being a fan. I just couldn't do it. Like, you can't give my pitcher one run? You tell me that? Like,
he went out there through like 116 pitches against the Atlanta Braves and then proceeded to lose in the 15th inning or 14th inning after a Cy Young season, you know. But Castillo, they said if they do add him, they would probably be willing to re-sign him and go over the luxury if they added. I saw something about that. Like, to sign
that
to
would be interesting.
The Yankees. Yeah.
That'd be interesting. I think he's the missing piece. If I'm being honest, like, I think he's that guy. I think he's so good. Everything I've seen, he's filthy. He's like elite, and I think in every category he can be elite in. He's that guy, and I think if we got him, he would be the perfect addition to this rotation and a good young rotation at that. So, you know, obviously I'd love a deal like that to get done, but if I'm being honest, that deal's probably not something that's going to happen until possibly the trade deadline. I think the Reds are going to be hard-headed, right? Because I think that's how most teams are. They're hard-headed. They're not going to just trade them just to trade them. They're going to roll into the season. They're going to realize they don't stand a chance in hell against any of the other NL teams. And they're going to, at the end of the day, because they've already talked about moving Sonny Gray, which they should do. That's a smart thing to do. And then when you mentioned trading Luis Castillo, he already dropped a whole level of value. You can't just go, like, we're trading our young best stud, like, when there's no reason to do that. So his value's already down a bit. You know, maybe not the crazy drop, but I do believe they'll end up trading him by the trade deadline, especially when they're fully out of the running.
I mean, so far, like, Cashman woke up one day and was like, listen, I'm gonna blow up the spot. We're gonna get DJ, we're gonna get Kluber, and then I'm gonna even go talk to the Reds and I'm gonna mess around and get me some publicity. I'm gonna wake up because it was the photo. Every time that he doesn't do anything in the offseason, the photo of him sleeping in a sleeping bag outside Yankees Stadium comes out saying, like, wake up, you bum.
Wake up. What are we doing? I was on that same camp, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, I try to be as patient as possible, right? I try not to be the stereotypical crazy Yankee fan that's like, why haven't we traded for Lindor, Bauer, Real Muto? Why aren't these guys on the team yet, right? I try not to be that guy. But at the same time, it's like I'm seeing the Padres make move after move after move after move. I'm seeing all these teams getting better. I see the Mets trading for a guy, and now I'm really mad because our guy Nick is like talking on our ear, like, look at us go.
Yeah, Mr. I'm so humble. No, you're not. No, you're not.
You know. So I'm getting impatient. I'm going crazy. I'm like, is it me? What's happening? Like, and then the reports come out. DJ's upset with the Yankees, and now I'm thinking, oh god.
And then the next day, it's like, hey, 6 years, $90 million.
And I was like, yeah, thank God. I was literally finally, thank God. Like, if we had lost him, bro,
he was dismayed with the Yankees. Then he was in talks with the Mets. They have mutual interest, and then it was signed with the Yankees. The next day, Cashman's like, nope. What do you want?
he said, hold up. I know you're not talking to them. I know you're not talking to the Mets right now. He goes, maybe I am. He goes, sign the contract. Sign the contract.
He'll be like, check your email. He'll be like, okay. Oh.
Check your bank account. I already sent it. Sent the whole thing.
I really do believe there was some others. There's not just the 6 years, $90 million. There's got to be something else in there, like some stupid incentive for him to
probably
make less. but he wants to win. Kluber wants to win. So I'm ready for 2021, man.
Yeah. I just think, like we've been saying, I think this team needs one more rotation piece. Maybe I'd settle for a reliever, but knowing the Yankees, so I know the Yankees, they're going to look at all our young prospects and all our young pitching guys. We're basically there, right? Like Mike King, Nelson, Uriye, Abreu. They're going to look at all these guys and they're going to go, I think we can roll with these guys in the pen. And that's what they're ultimately going to do. They're going to roll with a pretty young pen. It's probably going to be like built up of a lot of young guys making their debuts. I'm not too mad at it though. I would love to have another starter though. Like I'm not confident in this rotation like I want to be.
Yeah, I mean, I really do think we also forgot like Herman's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
So
not sure what to expect of him though, if I'm being honest. And I heard he did pretty bad in the Winter League. I think he pitched to like a 7 ERA. Which
got to earn his spot back after pulling that stunt with the Yankees. If the George Steinbrenner was here and that stuff happened, he would have said, "Out."
He's gone already, dude. He's gone.
Who do you we'll trade you for a box of Klondike bars to sell it with the vendor in 2023 with the moldy Klondike bars? Like none of this, guy.
That would not have fly, especially since the timing, dude. The timing, like we're going to the playoffs. You're our best pitcher at the time, and this whole situation unfolds. Like you're gone, and then you almost quit on the team. Like you're definitely gone. You're gone. Yeah. So the Yankees being very generous. I hope he's learned his lesson. I hope he can earn his spot back because we need him. Like this rotation is, you got to flip a coin. Who's gonna do what, right? I think if your name's not Garrett Cole, I don't know what to expect, right? Like the only guys we know right now are Montgomery, who I think he could take a solid step. Garcia, we have an okay idea. I still think he has higher potential, but he's got to show it, right? We're gonna need him to step up. Herman hasn't pitched in a full season. Don't know what to expect from him. Need him to show us something. Absolutely. And then Clark Schmidt, hopefully he might be a missing piece of this. If I were a betting man, though, he probably starts off in the minor leagues next season.
Yeah. Another year in the minor leagues for him.
And then Luis Gil. I've been hearing his name. Is it Luis? Which Luis is it? Gil or Medina?
Gil.
Gil? Yeah. I heard really good things about him.
I think he's a reliever, though. He's a pen guy.
Is he? I heard he was a starter.
Medina's the starter, and Gil. I don't know, but one of them.
One of the Luis guys. Okay, one of the Luis. I gotta look after this.
One
of those Luises. I've heard really good things. I heard he could be the next top Yankee pitching prospect. So maybe good things to come with him. The Yankees, they got some pretty high ceiling pitching prospects. So like Uriye, Nelson, King, Clark Schmidt, Garcia. So
I'm a little upset with the Yankees though, because like you see like teams are dumping their lower end prospects, and they're like getting like average guys. They're not getting stars, but they're some of them like the what was I gonna say the not Snell, but the Lindor. Never mind. I'm just saying you can go get some good.
Throw that out.
with some. You can go get some good players with some of your other prospects because they're like some of these guys are light years away, Yeah. So they're on your top 10. They're on your top 30. You can trade maybe 2-3 of them in a deal and go get yourself a good lefty bat because there's no good lefty bat on the market besides Brantley, and he's going to be asking too much.
Maybe Jock.
Maybe Jock. He's still a free agent. Yeah.
Still free agent. But I doubt he's taking a $6 million paycheck, right? So. I don't know what the Yankees do. That's true. You could sell him on that fact and maybe highly incentivize it so it doesn't count against the tax. But I don't know. I don't know what it would take to sign a Jock. I just know that this team is probably going to roll out with a lot of young prospects, which I agree with you. They should be trading a lot of these guys. But I think part of it's like the media and the market being like, the only valuable prospects the Yankees have are Clint Frazier, Ed Duhar, Garcia, and Schmidt, right? Like, I feel like every trade you see for a meh guy, it's like Clint Frazier's the head of the guy, and then Duhar have to be in the same. It's like, no, that's not how that works, right?
He's in his own league. You can get someone for Clint Frazier and maybe bullpen on, But yeah, it's just because, and then I hate seeing guys being traded and they pan out, But you can't hold on to everyone. Because the top 30, eventually they're going to get older, and you don't know where they are. Trade at least 2 of these guys while you can. They have this top 30 level talent, and go get someone.
I think Albert Abreu is like one of those guys at this point. I think he's like 20, 24, 25, something like that. He needs to go, right? If he's not making his way into the not the rotation, but the bullpen, if he's not in there, what's he doing on the roster, bro? What's he doing?
Don't let him just end his contract with the Yankees and then go sign somewhere else. Trade him. Because if you can get something for him, why not?
Exactly. So, the Yankees should definitely be a little bit more aggressive with their lower-end prospects. Like Florial, right? Mm-hmm. I think he has the potential to be good. But if he's not going to make the roster, what are we doing with it? Like, let's be real. Like, where does he fit in? He's not playing right ever, unless Judge gets hurt again. Knock on wood. He won't. Yeah. Who's he going to replace? Hicks? No, Hicks is making like $10 million a year. There's no way they're going to replace him with that. And if anything, Hicks is holding down the spot for our other boy, Jason Dominguez, the Martian, right?
The Martian.
So there's no shot. Stud. And then who are you going to replace? Clint Frazier, who just had an excellent year last year and finally gets to earn the starting spot, finally gets to roll in the spring training where he feels like, left field's mine.
Yeah.
So
he could be comfortable in that spot, too.
Yeah.
After I think the Gold Glove year.
I think he finally can play with a weight off his shoulders. That finally this is my position, and he can be him and he can ball out. And that's what I'm hoping for. And I think I have a lot of confidence in Clint Frazier and his ability to really ball out next season. So where's that leave Florial, right? So trade him, move him. I'm sure a lot of teams.
Go get someone. You can go get a catcher. You can go. No, actually, no. Don't go get a catcher. Go get someone,
Someone, a starter, a reliever, a lefty bat. Those are like the 3 things we need really badly right now. I think our lineup is really good as is. We might not have the depth necessarily that we want. We could, again, you never know. Talkman could bounce back. Yeah. Wade could figure out how to hit in the major league consistently.
That would be very nice. Have a good glove.
Dude, he has a phenomenal glove, and he's a lefty, bro. So if he could figure out how to do it on the big stage, that'd be amazing. And if my boy Ford could lose a couple pounds, we'd be rolling in there.
He's doing the yoga, though.
he doesn't do more yoga.
It didn't help you. Don't do yoga. It didn't help you, Ford. In fact, it made you worse. Sorry.
I went into last year thinking it was actually going to be a battle between Voit and Ford, who gets first, because I think the Yankees.
Everyone said it. We both said it.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted that lefty bat, and Ford said, "You don't get the lefty bat."
Ford said, "I'm going to suck."
Yeah, he showed up once with a big home run, and I think it was like one of his first at bats. He hits a home run. I was like, "This is my boy. This is the guy who's going to take over for first base." Yes, and then. Failure, disappointment.
I got one last question before we end this. Are you taking one more year of Miguel Andujar? And if it's not that good, are we getting rid of him? Because, listen, he had a really good stretch with the Yankees last year. And then it was almost like I felt like, it's time to maybe trade him because he's trade bait now. He played good. And then they said to sent him down. They didn't even give him a chance. And I get we have Gio, and you never know. Maybe he is worth a lot to other teams when his contract is over. But you can't just let Andujar rot because you're just letting these guys sit down there. You gotta make a trade. Go get a bullpen arm. Go get some or a starting pitcher, or a lefty bat like we've been talking. Which Andujar's able to be like, you can get someone for him.
Yeah,
I think.
I always see Andujar as like the new Clint Frazier, where like he's really good, and he could probably start on most teams, but he just doesn't have that spot anymore. Clint Frazier was locked in behind Gardy for all of eternity. For like 3-4 seasons, he's been trying to break in the major league roster, and every time he gets close, another guy steps up and takes the spot. Like Stan was for the longest time on left. Then the Yankees realized he can't play left. He's just a walking paper mache guy who falls apart waist below. So then you put Gardy out there, and Gardy's holding down the position. And then you put Talkman up there. They put Maben out there, right? And all these guys are getting opportunities ahead of him. So And finally he gets it, right? And it's the same thing with Duhar. And Duhar had the position, though. It was the only difference. Had it, lost it because of injury. And now he's in that awkward limbo stage where it's like he's so talented. He has such a good bat. But his defense is so bad. Like, where can we put him?
Which other teams will have patience with, but in New York, we're not going to have patience. Because if we can get Gio hitting maybe, like, at worst, 260, 270, we're going to take that, and he has a gold glove. In my opinion, he won last year. I'm sorry. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, you didn't deserve that. He got signed to a $4.5 million deal. Congratulations. You just paid for a somewhat decent glove. His highlights were this. Fielding ground balls. Gio Urshela's jumping all over the place, catching everything. In the playoffs, too. For the past 3 seasons. He's underappreciated by the league. It's just because we're the Yankees. Just because we're the Yankees. No one wants to give us an award.
Listen, I want to disagree. There's no way anybody can disagree. There is a media bias against the Yankees when it comes to awards, right? You can't tell me otherwise.
Yep.
You can't tell me. Look at Judge. Tell me Judge didn't win that MVP. Right, and now we got this year.
Category lower.
And then this year we finally
8% and average.
And then you go this year, right? And look at our guy, DJ.
364.
Average.
364.
Guy who hit home runs. Mind-boggling. There's a media bias against the Yankees in winning awards. Don't ever doubt it. There is. Unless it's like something. Even our captain, the captain, did not get unanimously voted into the Hall of Fame. How does that happen?
One guy.
How?
Let me know your name, one guy. We're going to come to your house and we're going to show you what New York is about.
This man should have been unanimous right here. This man. El Capitan.
The glove, the Jeter, 1 of 500. The man. No one gets a 1 of 500 special edition glove. Not just anyone. The Capitan, So,
just straight disrespectful. So
disrespectful.
There's a media bias against our boys at all times. I'm sure Duhar was also part of that. Ohtani won Rookie of the Year. Look at that, another one. I found another example just like that, right?
Ohtani is he has literally
trash.
One last shot.
He's trash. He's trash. He wasn't good then. He's not good now. Let's be real here, okay? He's meh. All right, it's just because we wanted to hype him up because he could go pitch and he could hit. Get out of here.
He hasn't done either of that in 2 years. So
exactly. So neither has Andujar, but that's a completely different story. Shut up. So ultimately, to answer the question, I think Andujar, he doesn't have a spot on the team, but I personally would rather have him on the team on the bench as a depth piece. But that depends how many roster spots he get. I'm not sure if they're going back to the old rules, or if they're going to expand the roster like they did before, which I actually really enjoyed. I think they should be a 30-man roster because that way – and it should be 15 – it could be 14 position players, 15 position players, and 15 pitchers. I think that would be amazing for everyone in the league. Gives more minor leaguers opportunities to bust out into the league, more jobs, all that fun stuff. But ultimately, I think it's going to depend on how many roster spots are available. And if they re-sign Gardy. If they re-sign Gardy, I think they should trade Andujar because clearly they're not going to put him on the roster.
Let him know, GM Murph. Well, Murph, this has been a fun episode of Off the Cuff.
Yeah.
Thank you all for watching. Thank you for joining me, Murph. Guys, 2021 is off to a good start for the Yankees. Maybe we add another arm. Maybe we add someone. Who knows? Cashman, keep working. Do not put down the phone unless they say something stupid like give me Gleyber Torres.
Yeah.
And we will see you in the next episode. Thank you.